We've been going through a little bit of a rocky and rough patch with what we're doing, but Texas Music and Art has been doing amazing, and it's back together, stronger than ever. We've got tons of shows, tons of opportunities lined up for musicians and artists, so happy to be here. You can find us at facebook.com/Texas Music and Art, Instagram/TX Music and Art, or go to TexasMusicandArt.com.
All right, thanks, bud. Chris?
Hey, I'm Chris Weston. I'm a drummer, musician, artist, producer, whatever it is.
Are we having a problem with the video?
No. That was just really weird for a second.
Oh,
I
keep
apologize.
going.
It's all good.
Okay.
Anyways,
I got a frame rate
if you guys
drop.
ever
But
need
100%
music, let me know. You can find me at facebook.com/ChrisSticks. That's STYXX, like the river. Here with some really good friends. So check me out. Thank you.
Virgil?
And my shameless plug is easy. I paint and I do photography. You can reach me at, if you Google Virgil for You, you'll find everything. I have a Facebook fan page at Virgil C. Robinson on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, again, Virgil for You. That's VIRGIL, 4 numeric number 4, U as an uncle. Check it out. I do lots of skyline, photographs, architectural photography, and abstract painting.
Great. My name's John Garcia. I'm a local musician here. Perform with 2 different bands. Texas Contraband is my the closest one to my heart. Country classic rock. Also perform with an Angry Sausage, an electric blues band in the vein of Kenny Wayne
Every
Shepherd.
time you say that name,
I know. Everybody loves the name. So, singer-songwriter, local guy out here. Also run an air conditioning contractor for many years. So you can catch me on Facebook, John Garcia. There's a link to Texas Contraband on there as well.
Great. Thanks for coming on. Again, we're going to be talking about if healthcare should be free. I'll give my plug, I guess. I'm Chris Minnemeyer. I'll be the host today. I'm part of Texas Music and Art as well. Our Rocky Patch is hopefully coming to an end soon. But I'm actually going to pitch a local show happening right here near Lake Houston. It's every 3rd Saturday, and it is a art to farm market. It's called Lake Houston Art to Farm Market. We'll have free beer, free green beer for St. Patrick's Day, and live music. Hopefully I'll get this guy playing. And art, food, you name it. It's going to be a great time. Hope you guys come out.
Streaming.
But we're going to dive into our discussion real quick here. So I'll start on this side with you, John. We're going to kind of bullet point our stance on if healthcare should be free. So if you want to go ahead and bullet point.
Sure. My personal view, I think there's so many countries now that have already adopted a universal health care program. So apparently they found something that can work or something that can be built on. I think it's something we need to do in this country as well. I understand there are also going to be limits to it because there are some aspects as far as the financial side, how it's going to affect the medical industry, pharmaceutical countries, and also businesses and individuals as well. But as a standard, I think everybody's entitled to some basic health care.
All right, go ahead.
I agree with you. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege, especially in a country as wealthy as the United States. I think we can come together and find a solution between private industry, i.e. the health insurance companies, as well as government funding for those who can't afford it. But an agreement needs to be found, and we need to do it because there's no excuse for what we have
here
right now.
It's a disaster.
Well, I'm actually going to take the middle road on that one because I do agree with you guys, but at the same time, there is the aspect that some people could abuse it, and we could also possibly come up to a shortage of doctors, and there's got to be a middle ground to it somewhere because, yes, people deserve, health care and to be taken care of, but at the same time, we don't want that to be taken advantage of,
right.
If you will. What do you think, Ollie?
Not for it.
Not for it?
Not for it. I don't think universal healthcare inside of the United States should be plausible or possible at all. I think that by making universal healthcare free, we're going to plunge the United States into an even further deficit, and we're going to stop providing the same level of care that we're providing for those that are paying for it. And by making it universal, that there's gonna be a lot of different types of I guess you could say backslides or landslides backwards and inside of the healthcare program, and that in turn is going to cause a much larger problem for the United States and our economy.
Okay. So split for and against. And I always like to play devil advocate as a host, but if I had to give my
The toast and say it's very very
yeah,
well
we'll
put.
go toast before we get started.
Before we get in there.
My stance on it, being a paramedic and being in the healthcare industry, I feel that it's already being abused, and that there's ways to abuse this healthcare system because all they do is abuse it and don't pay. And now they're not getting any money because we don't have a program to help that. So also, if it was free though, I do feel like it needs to be a basic free package.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be something that you can overuse. It should be
Exactly.
you get 5 doctor visits or whatever it may be. But yeah, so that's my stance on it. We'll go ahead and start a little discussion versus you and you. You seem to be on and on. So
It's just that it's not that I'm like hardcore. No healthcare for anybody. You guys should all rot. It's not how I feel. It's not how I feel. It's
Middle
just
ages.
Privilege.
I think, and this has come from somebody who I've had healthcare my entire life. My father
that's because you're under 26.
My father was also a veteran, so I've had very, very, very good healthcare, very good dental care, and I also know that I have tons.
So you don't pay for it right now.
No, I don't. My father does, and he did for the past 23 years of his military service career, or however long. Some would even say that he's still paying for it, but seeing the opposite side, transferring out of a military brat's lifestyle into a civilian lifestyle, I've seen tons of changes in the way that healthcare is provided to civilians in the United States. It is different than what I was raised. And by seeing that, I'm seeing there is the very, very, very generally low income part of the United States that abuses these free assistance programs and abuses WIC and abuses all of food stamps and all different kinds of that. And those are healthcare. To me, free healthcare is finding a good yoga instructor. You know what I'm saying?
It could well be, yes.
And to me, I think that everyone should have to. If we start giving away free healthcare, we're going to be taxed for it. Somebody's got to get paid these guys, right? So it's like if we start taxing, if we start taxing the United States citizens, we're gonna in the long term wind up paying double what we would have if we just would have kept our insurance privatized. And then that money isn't going to be helping anybody else other than the oligarchy that we have right now. So that's just the way I see it. And I don't think, I mean.
I agree with you to the point because any assistance program provided by the government, obviously it's being abused. Welfare, WIC, whatever it is,
It's just like
someone is going to abuse it.
guns.
But my response to that is that abuse occurs because it's being allowed to occur.
Mm-hmm.
Someone is not following through. Someone is not holding people accountable. Someone is not properly overseeing those programs.
Those are government workers.
Exactly.
Kind of
I mean,
like
how much do you really expect out of those people? What do you expect out of people when you go to the DMV?
Well, I see what you're saying, and I kind of want to just give you a little rebuttal. That's what's going on. That you want to add to that.
Right.
Well, you want to make it more of people doing that job, and you see what I'm
Well,
saying?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. There's supposedly people in place to control these things.
Right.
How do we know they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing? I mean,
I just don't. I don't see it helping more people than it's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say hurting, I don't mean hurting as in you can't have coverage. I'm saying if we make youth healthcare universal and free, I feel like there are those that we are definitely helping. Don't let me.
well, sure, but there's going to be a large percentage that. Yeah.
And we're hurting them in a different way, in a long-term way that the average American consumer can't see. The average American consumer is only looking 3 to 5 years down the road. Average. I mean, there are those few that plan 10, 20.
Your age.
Yeah, my age.
Yeah.
And they're not going to see that this is actually. They're going to, on average, right now, as of 2016, each citizen pays around $8,000 to $9,000 a year in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
A family of 4 pays $20,000 a year. So it's like, if we look at the deficit, which is almost, $3 trillion, and how much money was spent in healthcare last year was over $3 trillion. we want to make that free. You know, like.
But the money's gotta come from somewhere, so it's either gonna be coming from our government or our taxpayers, so it's gotta come from somewhere, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Print it. That's what they've been doing, just print more, you know.
It comes down to, you can't just implement something with having everything else set into place to allow it to function properly.
Change the whole thing.
Exactly. I mean, it's just not that one little thing you're gonna fix. I mean, it affects every aspect of everyone's life. But then it means a complete overhaul.
Hey guys, so we are talking about if healthcare should be free.
Keep forgetting a lot.
Yeah. So if you guys please tune in, comment, just tell us your opinion so that we can just take that and run with it. And Virgil, I know you tried to say something here a second ago. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I want to give everybody a chance to give their input. I pretty much agree on both sides. People do and can and will abuse it. However, we save money by making that investment instead of
long term.
The long term, instead of denying care. Even you're going to have abusers, but the ones who really need it are the ones they're certainly not going to use it. I personally lost 2 friends in the last 12 months. One because of the lack of health care. One was because he didn't have insulin. $50 bottle of insulin.
That's terrible.
I can't remember his name. Bernie Sanders mentioned it during his campaign a year and a half ago. It was a really good friend of mine. He just died. And another one died of pneumonia. He walked into a healthcare clinic and gave him $300 because he's a successful artist, but he did not have insurance. Those were productive people. They could have been prevented, and now they're dead. In the long run, we all save money by investing in some sort of healthcare program, and it is socialism. I'm not very socialistic, but
I mean, why not try out socialism in America? It's the only place that can't be invaded by it.
Well, Social Security and Medicare are 2 examples. They cost money. They usually give us a deficit, but they're usually cheaper in the long run than not having it.
I kind of want to comment like what you were saying. It doesn't only affect that person. It's not just him dying because of the cost of all that treatment before they died. Because you can get free treatment at hospitals. You don't have to pay right away, is what I'm saying. So if they were to pass, that goes on to now the families. So now the families are going to have to go through hardship because their loved one didn't have insurance or didn't have access to healthcare.
They're living with debt.
Yeah, they're going to have to handle the debt.
Are we going to be paying? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris. Are we going to be paying every doctor the same then? Are we going to be paying neurologists the same as cardiologists?
I want to say all that's changing.
Is it the same amount of work, effort, knowledge, and skill in schooling to work on someone's brain than it is to work on somebody's heart or to be on a truck?
It takes the same amount of
Do we
knowledge.
pay him the same amount? Because you're saying, and I'm not trying to be rude, but you're saying that we're going to save money by doing this, and I don't see it happening because it is terrible what happened to that man not getting insulin, and that's highly, very, very unfortunate, but
I think that's what they were saying when they say there's a...
What about the terminally ill?
Well, that should be there's a cutoff, right? Like something like insulin, something that's cheap, there's ways that...
reasonably be avoided for minimal cost.
Right, something like
where do we draw the line
basic
then?
plan.
That's what I'm saying. Where is that line drawn?
I guess we're drawing. Let's draw the line.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it's
that was a
that's
very good
big
point.
line.
I wasn't arguing. I'm really not.
Cheers.
I'm not seeing it yet. I guess I'm just seeing the.
Well, I kind of worried, like what you said, if we do go to the everybody has healthcare, is that gonna not only shortage our doctors, but is that going to create longer lines for transplants? And like Canada, I mean, there's no preference. I mean, you could have $100,000 in the bank ready for that preference, that kidney, that liver, whatever it is, and you can go pay for it here. But in Canada, you're on a list.
No one gets preference.
And nobody gets preference. So now, I mean, people die that way.
That's the downside of socialized medicine.
But I mean, people are dying the other way too. So you see, kind of like we'd have to figure out what's worse than what's better.
We're gonna bury their families in it, and I see that you guys are very, very right, and I hope I'm not taking a stance against the fact saying that there are certain regulations and limitations into which free healthcare could work. in our society today, my stance is that I don't see it happening, but yes, there is a possibility of it happening. But in every other place I've seen it happen, and every other place in the world it's happening, it's not the same.
You ever talked to a Canadian about their healthcare?
Yeah.
No,
They seem to be happy.
It's great.
To me.
Really?
Well, yeah, they got free. Never mind.
I think. Well, I
They
mean,
love
have
it,
you
sure.
talked to a critical?
But I'm sure they
critical
had their
or
growing
a,
pains
a
as well.
chronic illness person.
Oh,
They
Have
also
you talked
have
to somebody?
chronic.
A chronic illness because
terminal illness.
yeah, terminal like the liver. I talked to somebody with a
Right.
liver. He moved to the United States because his waiting list was so long
Right.
that he could not get a liver in time. He would have
came
died.
here.
He came to the United States
Okay.
and got health insurance and paid for a liver.
It happens often
Really?
Very often.
because
You meet deductible.
it's rationed.
But won't there be a surplus if we give free health care?
Well,
we'll
we have some of the
shortage
best healthcare in the
doctors.
world here.
Mhm.
But do you think that
Agreed.
if we go and give it all to everybody, do you think that it's going to remain the best? Or do you think we're going to marginalize our
It's-
healthcare?
It might decrease,
I
right?
It's
think
gonna
your
diminish.
quality is probably going to
Yeah.
diminish.
Integrity.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's unavoidable, but that's just like.
But I mean,
it's
when
like
you talk
the
about
teachers.
deaths and people dying and like malpractice and all that kind of stuff is going to start coming into play. And people are
Those
going to die
percentages
because
are
of
going to increase.
yeah. So
Now these insurance
we're-
companies and this free health, there's going to have to pay into these families. These lawsuits are going to come rolling in.
Nothing's going to be perfect, people.
Well,
If we
new laws
rationalize,
are going to have to be put in place. Yeah.
Yeah,
if we
that's
give
for sure.
socialized or like start a social program for everyone, it's going to have to be rationalized. Not everyone's going to get to
does
live.
Planned Parenthood do something like this?
Planned
Planned
Sometimes.
Parenthood, kind of.
Staying out of the Planned Parenthood.
I've been here
Don't
since
touch
I had a
that one
kid.
with a 10-foot pole.
No, I'm just wondering because I mean, I had a girlfriend that she didn't have insurance, and we would go get her wellness checkups for free because she didn't have income.
I think they have a
Oh,
sliding
okay.
scale. I
Yeah,
believe.
they do have a sliding scale, I believe.
Stuff you haven't turned on.
Because when I started making more money, I had to pay more for a visit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wait a minute, that birth control cost me $10 last month. I got a new job and it cost me $80 this month. What the heck?
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it too. You know, providing those services like
For
STDs,
wellness and wellness
STD
and- yeah.
checks and helping preventative maintenance. You know,
Good.
flu shots and stuff. You know, those I guess we could consider healthcare as well. And most
Oh, absolutely.
And those are offered at Planned Parenthood clinics.
Mhm.
All of those.
Yeah, and they
everything you
have
mentioned.
they're like Red Cross doing it for free
Right.
in neighborhoods and
And I wouldn't change
private
anything about
companies
I would.
bringing it. That's what I would like to see.
Right.
I would like to see private companies,
Employers.
nonprofits, coming together to start healthcare, maybe even a hospital or something along those lines, where it would be like a sliding scale, and you know you would be we have the option. We're not all that, we're not all this, but now we
Right,
have the
right.
option of, hey, you have different venues to get your
Sure.
healthcare.
They actually do have a lot of those, basically a mobile clinic. It's kind of like a doctor's office on a bus, and they go
Right.
through San Francisco, LA, I mean, all over the West
Like we were
Coast.
saying, it's
I'm
very
not sure
limited
about
care though.
Houston.
'Cause
Yeah,
they're not,
absolutely. There's
they're
only
pulling
so
around
much
an
they can do.
MRI, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
They're not gonna find your stroke, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But they can get you caught up on your shots and make sure you're
Yeah.
okay, your blood cholesterol is all good. You know, they do the
Wellness
basics
checks.
at least.
Well,
Exactly.
they got the
You know?
hip hop for HIV in Houston. You know, it's
Yeah.
a big thing.
AIDS walks all around, yeah.
Mhm.
That's a huge.
Raising money for people who don't have it
Again.
to get healthy.
Those things are cheaper. You invest that money and you save millions, probably billions of dollars later down the road, you
Mhm.
know, because of that. So,
For the, if we're looking at the different, I guess if we're looking at the different types of
Is there some
castes in
comments on
American
the screen I can
society,
read?
if we're looking at the different types of like
legacies.
levels of society, then yeah, overall it'd be a lot more fair and a lot more possibility to be successful. But
I saw that one.
and
We're all
today,
awesome.
with the way that we almost glamorize, you know, like plastic surgery, and there's a whole
Right. Would that be considered free healthcare?
Where do you?
Well, absolutely
Yeah.
not to me,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah.
elective stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but
and not just that, but
free
cosmetic
healthcare still.
dental surgery.
Well, what about
different
something
types of,
like,
like a
lobster
kid gets his
on
arm
the
blown
wick
off, you
card.
know, like or half of his face blown off, and now it's like, do we repair the kid's face or we just make it work live?
Patch it up.
One of my
yeah.
issues on the whole healthcare issue is what is the individual responsibility to their own health?
Mhm.
I mean, are you going to smoke cigarettes and drink beer all night and then go to the doctor and complain
And be
because you
allowed
feel
to
like
have
crap?
free healthcare.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, why am I?
Are
why
you
am I
gonna
Well, yes,
gonna
they
ruin
already,
yourself?
They already do it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
has to be limitations of some
Right.
sort, you know?
Sure.
But how do you set some? You can't stop somebody from hurting themselves.
Well, no.
But
We can abuse cheeseburgers all day.
Right.
Good
that's what I'm
example.
saying. Drugs too. I mean, the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody could go do a bunch of cocaine and end up in a hospital, and now we're paying for
You
it.
can't
Right.
judge
Right.
people for the state of their mental state when they come in asking for help. I
Mhm.
don't care what they've done, I'm
Agreed.
sorry. Whether
What about,
it's HIV
what
or
about psych visits
diabetes.
and psychoanalysis?
Same thing. You
Well, I think that kind of protects all of us.
Well,
We wanna get them off us.
do you think I should get my AED meds for free?
Attention deficit, I would say so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
this is the best
I would
we're
something
gonna
like
I was
that,
wondering,
because I would consider that basic health care.
Especially for what you do.
Well,
You know, like, that's like,
It's all about clarity, right?
yeah, it's
Well,
like
yeah.
giving
All about
a
clarity.
veteran.
Well, it's more about me not being able
Yeah,
to
marijuana.
function.
Or for treating them for post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah, same kind of thing.
I think if we, like I said earlier, if we had like weekly free yoga classes at the Y or something,
with goats.
Yeah, but they wouldn't go.
it's totally free
yeah.
health.
That's what I'm talking about, is your personal
But
responsibility,
then
your own health.
again, you're
Yeah.
taking away from businesses like yoga clinics that are paying, you know,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
clinics,
yeah,
but
Yeah,
I'm
we
saying-
hate to see them
yeah.
suffer. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
Half of those
that
guys
you're,
would work for
you would
free.
essentially
Goats, too.
wipe out a
I
whole
understand what
thing
you're
of jobs.
Sure.
And, you know, I mean,
One
those
way
are
or the
how
other.
people make a living.
Well, there are definitely hard choices that gotta be made, and there's gonna be sacrifices no matter what your decision
I'm gonna read
So,
some
like-
of these comments real quick. Not to cut you
Well,
guys
that's
off,
why
but
we got a lot of people tuning in.
yeah, we got Zach Lewid. Thanks for tuning in. Matt is awesome. We have Matt on today.
Matt Cash, he tuned in.
I think that was from earlier today.
This is the wrong feed. Is this live?
No,
feed?
this is the live feed.
All right.
That's it.
Okay,
I
so
know you can sip on
Amy's
that wine.
sip
on that wine.
Hi, Amy.
She wants us to
one.
sip on the wine, I
There you
think
go.
I need some more, actually.
All
What up,
right,
Calvin?
you want
Enjoy.
a white?
Yeah, please.
Pass that to you.
May I
So
pour you some
Calvin
more
Weaver,
wine,
man,
my
thanks for
friend?
coming
Yes.
in from the Hofffield
Yes, please.
Steakhouse. Appreciate that. Joe Lee, JC Texas County Music Productions watching.
Did I
Awesome.
see her?
Marsha,
Miss Steve
thank you
Lane.
for tuning in, Marsha Morel. So do you think the physicians are controlled by the insurance companies? That's a good point. We're gonna hit that one in a second here. I'm gonna get some more names
yeah.
out here.
I've got quite a
David
question for
Craig,
that.
thanks for tuning in. Fidel Gonzalez, I appreciate you. What's up, dude?
Virgil,
amazing. See here, Virgil
Thank
looking
you,
good.
Amy. I love you, Amy. Thank you.
Claudia Prince, thank you for tuning in, and David Craig, I appreciate you tuning in.
And
Buddy
Zach
Sydney
watching too.
Johnson,
Thanks, Zach.
hello, Sydney.
What's up, Fidel?
Michael Garcia says it won't work because then the doctors would have to work harder to maintain their lifestyle
That's my
they're
brother.
used to, and they won't have that. Which I definitely agree, which will
I hear
create
you.
a shortage of doctors, I think so. Dana says, hello, Virgil. Thanks for tuning
Hey,
in, Dana.
cousin Dana. She's my god sister.
Samantha McCooley, I think, thank you for tuning in. She says, I think sometimes you guys should really take into account how much profit the hospitals and doctors are making. Healthcare is technically free market society.
Yeah, it's privatized.
Right, well, that's what we have.
Well,
is
what we're
privatized
saying
healthcare.
is that the money's gotta come from somewhere.
Mhm.
It's gonna take a bite out of the doctor's pocket, we're gonna start losing doctors as well,
Mhm.
but like I said, there's always gonna be a
What if
sacrifice.
we have to also have like universal auto insurance? If that's the case.
That's already a given.
Someone
No,
will make a
universal
case
free.
for
Well,
it.
you gotta pay
Right,
for it.
right.
Yeah. We're mandated to have health insurance
Yeah.
too.
Well, yeah. Well, the way they, I
get a
don't
fine the
want
same
to
way.
dig. I don't want to get into this too long, but I have to say that that was all done wrong and it got screwed
Mhm.
down.
I know.
It
Yeah,
wasn't done
that's
right.
another subject for another day.
But, this is what I wanted to touch on about doctors and whether we're going to see a diminishing quality of care from doctors. Yeah, that's why I don't like the idea of socialized health care. Because what you end up doing is having two layers: the ones that can afford really good care, and the ones who will be going to get mediocre
Before
care,
you know it,
and they
you're
will
gonna have
suffer
repo, man.
for it.
Yeah, like the movie where they're repoing organs.
But you know, doctors need to be brought down a few pegs anyway, and it's happening. I'm not bringing down any of my doctor friends
Right.
and physicians, but the old guard at school were taught they were gods and were paid a lot more money. Now they're not getting paid as much because of the changes, and they're really the industry's drying up because they don't have enough doctors.
But
anymore.
now work's
Nobody
going
wants
to increase for them, and their pay is
Right.
going to decrease. And I think
Well,
a lot of
you
them are
know,
going to scoot on to a different private
Go to another
practice or go to
country,
another
yeah.
country.
Well, we can import them.
We
I'm not
already
being
do
funny.
that with nurses.
Yeah, as long as they're
Yeah.
from Scandinavian countries.
Oh no, we import nurses from all over the world. I mean, yeah, but like Philippines is a huge import for our nurses. They
Well,
train over there, they come over here, they make money, they
And
send that money back.
It had been working very well until
Yeah,
Sweden
Sweden.
things changed.
Sweden, yeah,
Well,
Sweden, African
Scandinavia.
countries as well. I mean, I walk out in through
Oh, yeah,
hospitals and
yeah.
I see a lot of different people from different countries that are either here on visas or
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're here to work, and that's the only reason they're here. Because
So,
well, if you go to that, are we gonna not have that because people aren't gonna want to
No,
go
just,
work?
they'll be from Scandinavian countries.
Oh, there'll be a little
Northern,
so
northern.
yeah, so they won't barely
That's-
speak
that's
English.
what you want.
Like, how bad does it hurt? What? Gloria, thanks for tuning in. Samantha, appreciate you tuning in. Feel free to chime in anytime. Any new viewers, thank you, Samantha. I appreciate that. John, looking good, buddy.
Gloria.
Gloria says, Vivian, thanks for tuning in. You got a lot of people here, John. Bud. Thanks for bringing out the crowd.
And Virgil.
Yeah,
They
and
seem
Virgil
to love
too.
Virgil.
Yeah. No, I haven't
They're
seen one
used-
hello,
they're
Chris
used to
yet.
me. So I actually
You're
have
already
a point,
popular.
a question.
Go ahead.
This is about terminally ill patients in this whole debacle. Are medicine manufacturers going to be persuading pharmacists and doctors to push somebody that would stay on health insurance for a longer time that's terminally ill, rather, or push them to make an assisted suicide, or like pushing them towards the out the door on different medicine, or we already have a corrupt government. We already have big business inside of the
Everything's
pharmacy.
got
Yes.
corruption.
So now we're gonna have the corruption take place if we decide to do free healthcare.
Universal, yeah.
If we decide to do
Absolutely.
that, we're gonna
Someone
have
will find a way
companies
to profit from it.
paying these doctors extra to make up for that, saying, "Hey, look, just go ahead and get rid of them, get them off of our insurance. Go ahead, they're already too much of the government." Then you've got so much more power going to these rich
No,
people.
I'm all about
That happens
never
already.
putting
Well,
more into
And
the
it will
government's
continue
hands.
to the end of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a given. It's not fair, but it already happens, unfortunately.
It's the world we live in.
I mean, I've actually got a personal story for that. Bit of a sore note, I guess, but my cousin Elise is actually in the hospital right now with stage 4 spinal cancer. She designed the F-22 Raptor for Lockheed Martin, and most amazing woman in the world, but we can't, the family can't afford the medication she needs in order to get better, and
And she's
it's
well,
hard on family.
I mean, she's not.
was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not because she had no money.
Right.
She just didn't have enough.
Right.
Which is
Amazing artist, extremely talented and technical minded, but sometimes our health gets the best of us, and sometimes we can't be able to make those changes happen. And so what do we do for those terminally ill people,
That's a good point.
thanks, Dana. Hey, Chris.
The
The only ones that get to survive are the ones that can afford it.
Hi, Alan.
That's-
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
That's kind of my thing behind it as well. Now,
Alan,
with the chronic illnesses versus the acute. So the acute are going to be easily fixed. It's not long-term care. It's just a lot less money. So I think that we can find a medium ground between an acute health insurance for all and a chronic health insurance privatized.
I agree. I think it's definitely going to be a solution.
I think
Somebody's gotta
that's
sit down at the
decent-
table.
Yeah, a lot of people I feel doctors
absolutely.
and statistical data needs to be gone through and
They don't need to sit down and drink a bottle of wine together and say, "All right,
That's right.
sit down."
Amy Moore says
That's how you know you're dealing with
there
it.
is more money in
many
being
bottles
sick
of wine.
and not being well. Consider all the financial moving parts from the drugs to procedures. Lobbyists fight to keep money in the insurance companies' pockets. It's a money game. It's unfortunate, but the overall goal of privatized healthcare is to profit. Now,
That's a very interesting.
I love that statement.
The
I
more
would like
money
to-
in prolonging
I would like to say
the
that,
treatment
um,
than curing them.
we're
If
looking for it.
if there's more
The
money in
opposite.
being sick,
Yeah.
then why wouldn't a socialized healthcare just keep you sick? Just because now, right?
Keep costing them more money. It's like prison
Right.
system. You know what I'm saying? It's-
But in a socialized healthcare, wouldn't it be more advantageous to cure the problem
Because they're paying
than
for
to
it.
dragging them along?
Right?
Again,
right,
prevention
yeah. No, that
is
makes
the
sense.
key
That's,
here.
okay,
I
yeah.
mean-
Because they're not insurance company might try to make a profit.
Yeah. They've
But-
already
but
got
they
a
are, they're the
surplus of
government.
patients to deal with.
So we're hold on. Let me make sure I hear this right. Can you say that one more time? You said, yeah. You got to repeat that for me one more time. What you just said. I'm sorry.
A surplus of
About-
patients?
Well, what I'm saying, what the statement was that as far as the medical industry is concerned, it's certainly more profitable for them to continue treatments rather than actually curing the illness.
Which is why we have
today.
pills
And
coming
that's-
out and
that's why
not
it goes on.
vaccines.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And there's an arrangement, an agreement between pharmaceutical companies and doctors to prescribe certain medications that are going to continue
You got a
this
golf
treatment.
trip,
So,
Right.
maybe
I
get
thought
out
you were
Zoloft.
I thought you were saying that by making universal healthcare legal, that we're going to be raising the moral standards which the doctors are living now because they're making less money.
Oh, no.
I just didn't see that. I was
No,
like,
I
okay,
didn't-
hold on. I'm glad I asked you to repeat
My
yourself. I was
thing
like,
is,
wait a minute.
instead
hold
of
on.
giving it to the private, now we're giving it to the government. So, I mean, you're saying that, you know, there's more money in keeping people sick, and the government wants our money. So, I think that you're giving it into, well, 50% of us are corrupt, but like 75% of them. You know what I'm saying?
Like a, what, $1 billion industry for prescription drugs?
Right,
That's
and
crazy.
that would topple that. I mean, it would topple the entire economy-based thing. I mean, this would change a whole lot when it comes to the pharmacies having all the money, and then
Right.
these hospitals that are. I went into one hospital room. I mean, you can't go in there because of regular insurance, right? I was at the very top floor, and I won't say the name of the place, but it was a penthouse, a hospital
I
penthouse.
know where it was.
Yeah.
It was.
No, yeah, it was.
Top notch.
It seriously had a full-size
Concierge.
fridge. It had a full-size
Well,
fridge in the
no,
room.
cooks,
It
no,
had
private
two full-size couches.
Mhm.
It had lazy boy. It had a hospital bed. It had an oversized.
So how did you
restroom.
end up there?
Don't forget
I'm
the
paramedic. I was dropping off a cardiologist
Oh.
who was sick, so he had enough money to pay for a suite.
Yeah, and they had their
Yeah.
own cook too.
That's
Oh
hard.
yeah, no, they got their own cooks.
Yeah.
They come in, and I mean,
They're sitting there like,
we will be
Get sick and take a vacation.
with
Yeah.
socialized healthcare. Do you think that we can keep a private part
No.
of it? I mean,
kinda?
You gonna let Bunk Weekly from down the street go up into that penthouse?
Well,
That's
okay, but
not
no.
happening.
No,
Look,
what I'm saying is like so
No
you
offense
don't
if your name's Bunk
you do
Weekly.
get that basic healthcare stuff. Everybody
Like,
gets
you in
that.
there?
I guess what my take on is for people that
If you
cannot
have 12
afford
people in one room
any
after
kind of
this.
health insurance, there should be some basic health care provided for them. The rest of the population that's employed, that's working through employers, they can get insurance. And
Like
they'll
Medicaid.
have whatever the
It's
Medicaid.
Medicaid. That's what you're
Yeah.
describing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Medicaid and then Medicare for the older
Right.
people.
My
Yeah.
solution to this whole situation, and I don't know why, I mean, these people in DC are supposed to be smart and know everything, you know.
They're trying.
Supposed to.
Let me tell you that if they had just expanded Medicaid and Medicare, they're already in place, they're working, a lot of people are, if we expanded that to everyone and tweaked things,
Right.
we wouldn't be having this
Didn't
discussion
they
right
make
now.
cuts in 2012, 2013 or so?
No, not that I
Well,
know
they're
of,
trying to
but-
do the
but
women's.
I'm aware of what's going on now, and I'm not liking it.
What's going on now?
Sometimes I've
Speak
got
your mind,
some-
Virgil.
Speaker of the House was Paul Ryan is trying. You know, he wants to do away with Medicare and Medicaid altogether. I mean, does that make sense to you?
Hmm.
Look at the ears.
Well, I mean,
He's been doing this for like 6 years.
yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, had we just expand, we already had those
My
those
thing
two in
is,
place.
I
built on
had-
those.
This is a great story. I just thought of it. I was on an ambulance working 911. I made a call. It came out as a hive and rash. So it's an emergency call. We went 911 because we don't want an airway to swell, right?
Right.
So I get to this apartment, but I'm knocking on the door, and I'm knocking on the door, and I'm knocking on the door, and nobody comes down. So I call for fire department to break through the door, and we're gonna breach entry and go try to help somebody. So the fire department arrives, and so they drove from their station, emergency traffic, putting people in harm's way, because that's what that does. People
Right.
freak out. And I drove there, emergency traffic, put myself in harm's way. Just so I get there, they open the door as fire department rolls in. So standing there in a towel, she goes, "What do you want?" And I go, "Well, we got a 911 call from your residence." She goes, "Shaquisha," and like I'm not anything. I mean that's her name, and like so. Down comes a 22-year-old, young, healthy-looking female, and she proceeds to tell us she has a rash. And so we say, okay, well, where's this rash? Well, she says, it's on my stomach. Well, will you show us this rash? And so she says, well, it's not on my stomach, it's more lower. And so, and it's not so much a rash as much as it's discharge and smell.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so,
God.
and so, like, okay, but like, we don't do gynecology on the ambulance, so we didn't have to do anything with
And
it,
that was
right?
a 911 call.
This is not right. This is 911, and so you're opening 911 up to that
Yeah.
by opening it, right? So
They
obviously,
don't screen calls?
well, no, you have to respond to all of
No
them,
matter.
every one of them. And so, check this out. We get her to the ambulance,
sucks
man.
so bad. I feel for you.
And I'm telling her, you know, this isn't a problem for the ER. I feel like you should be seeing a your gynecologist. And I can't refuse to take you, but my medical opinion says this. Well, she says, well, Medicaid pays for everything. Don't worry about it.
Did she hop on your ambulance? Or?
Oh yeah, she hopped. I didn't even let her get on the stretcher now. Oh God, I don't work there anymore. But I should have let her on the stretcher, but I was not happy with
I'm
her.
saying, how does something like that just go unnoticed
I've
and
gotten
allowed
calls
to
for
continue?
ant bites.
Really?
Single ant bite on an elderly female. She was worried that it would mess with her high blood, quoted. And so, the lack of education. I tell you is it high blood pressure? Is it high blood sugar? Is it cholesterol? I mean, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. And she goes, well, it's sugar. So you're diabetic. And so she, well, the ant bite's not gonna mess with your diabetes, no. And then she proceeds to say, well, my son got one too, and he's, well, yeah, but it was localized a little bit, so it wasn't anaphylaxis. But the son was there, 20-something-year-old male, very good health. He looked at me when she said that, and he goes, "Don't touch me." like, he's like, I want nothing to do with this ant bite, right? Like, and so I love that the idea behind a open healthcare for everybody.
It would certainly be a utopian view of things.
It is. It's very utopian.
But
I
in
don't
reality,
see the practicality behind it unless we're bringing it down to basic life. Like, hey, look, if you're gonna die,
But even
from
through
this,
that, there's no practical implications.
immediately die, not long term.
Right.
Like, so if you're gonna die within
If you're in
a
a
certain amount
life-threatening
of time,
situation,
between 24 hours, bam, something along those lines.
It's gonna end up like the movie Idiocracy, where it's like, put this in your ear and this in your butt. You know what I'm saying? Because
No, the other way.
Like you said, there's gonna be that lack of education that's gonna freak people out. I mean, shoot, I had to go to the hospital just when I needed to freaking drink some water, but I didn't realize how easy it was to get dehydrated. You know, like didn't realize.
And that's what I'm saying.
Now
It's like now we're and I feel like this is about a lot of subjects is education, free education for healthcare. Like, you know, are you diabetic? Hey, we have a free class. You can learn all about your diabetes and how to manage it, and you can show you ways to get funding, and
could
we
even
can
be
show
a
you ways.
webinar.
It could be webinars.
Anything
But
we can do
I've
to
talked to my
educate
doctor
people.
online
We're
already.
talking about ways to cut costs.
I get
Right.
I get
YouTube
online.
video.
It's called
Yeah.
Teledoc, which I don't care if you use them, but like Teledoc, I mean, they won't do any narcotics or scheduled drugs, but they will do all your antibiotics and your insulins and all that stuff. All it is
Push a button.
putting a button in, and that guy's looking at you.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's really neat. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a great solution
Mhm.
to that, and I feel like that could be paid by the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Because that's what mine
Help
pays.
folks at home.
No.
Mine offers a free service. It's an add-on, or it's $40 a month.
No.
You know.
What you think
There
of
we go.
Virgil?
Now we're
I do
talking
wanna say
that on.
two
That's where you
things.
got me. I was like, paid for by the insurance companies. Maybe if you drafted.
No,
It's
well,
an option.
no, it
It's
was
an
a
option
free
in the
add-on. I
policy.
didn't add it on myself. It's one of those. Hey, this is what you get for buying our insurance. You get this option.
That was like an incentive.
And what it does is it lowers their cost because I'm not going to a doctor. I'm going to their doctor online. So they're not having to pay out to private practice. They're just paying some guy
There you go.
hourly to sit at a computer and talk to
There's
me.
the 20th
Right,
century
Oh,
working.
I'm really curious to
It's gotta be
see
a-
what Virgil
a
has
doctor
to
at
say on
CVS.
this.
It's building up to 3 now.
Well,
No,
that's
I'm
what I'm thinking,
No.
man.
I know I mentioned, I thought of this earlier, people abusing the system.
Yeah.
People going to like you said, to the emergency room with a gynecological rash, or
Mhm.
maybe I
And you know
have
what's the
a
funniest part
nick
about
on the
that?
finger.
She walked
That's
out
not.
of that ER AMA against medical advice
Mhm.
because she wouldn't open her legs to show it.
Oh,
doctor.
please. See, that's
So-
medical
I
advice.
want
and
help,
she's
but I
like,
won't show you what's
do it.
wrong.
So is it in here?
the other. Yeah,
Wh-
I think
Okay,
so.
well, if
in my
it's in here,
opinion,
then-
in my opinion, yeah.
No, I think it is too.
The other thing is
But I
about
think it's
education.
educational.
You cannot educate the ignorant. Now, the more people know about their body,
Can't fix stupid.
you're going to save money because they're going to know the difference between what need, an
Can't
emergency.
wait.
Alright.
But you can't educate the ignorant.
No.
The other thing, the bottom line is if we do get
You
this
want
stuff
to pay
fixed,
for the ignorance?
the bottom line is cost and containment.
Yeah.
It's
Control.
all about cost.
Mhm.
And I believe in free enterprise. I'm a bureaucrat. I believe in like government. Not government, but and
Free enterprise and free
big
trade.
industry.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you gotta have our Uncle Sam and the feds to cut for like social programs.
Regulate.
Yeah, to regulate and get it going. But a happy medium has to be found because I don't want all socialistic type and all social type
Right.
plan. That ain't gonna work.
Mhm.
Not in this country.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
we cannot wipe out the insurance system. We've got to look out for both.
I
Mhm.
feel you. I have a very unpopular opinion when I say that I believe in dictatorship.
Dictatorship?
Yes, I do. I believe in dictatorship.
Just gotta be the
I
right
thought you
dictator.
to talk. I got some pretty similar
It's
views.
unpopular. It's unpopular as it gets. I'm gonna allow that.
Mine's pretty unpopular too.
No, that's been
I
popular
believe in
speak.
anarchy. So
He's like,
everybody's their own
dictator.
dictator.
Yeah, but,
I mean, that's what that is. Anarchy to me is
That's
you're all
just-
your own dictators. And
That's-
That's pretty cool. I like
I,
that.
You know, the subject came up 2 days
I'm
ago
sorry.
about
Mm.
dictators, and somebody thought it was a really good idea. That Chairman Xi has
Yeah.
made head honcho for life. He thought it was cute.
So kind of like being responsible for yourself. In a way.
right.
Right.
Well, I mean, and that can cause you to, die because
cheeseburgers.
abuse cheeseburgers. But like my
Well,
thing
as a
is,
society, we're so entitled that
There's a switch inside.
Yeah.
people don't take responsibility for themselves
And that's why
or
I
for
think
their
it's
life.
stay private.
It's ignorance. I
It's
bring
like,
back to
all right,
ignorance.
you want our
Because
care?
that's how
Well,
they were
one, you're gonna
raised.
pay
They
for it.
didn't know
Two,
any
you're
different.
gonna answer these questions instead of like.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you want this healthcare? Oh, how bad do you want it? Answer this form, you know,
In triplicate.
right, in triplicate. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
we're not giving you carbon copies.
yourself, and if you do that, then we'll put you on the list.
And Shout says hello. This is Anika. Anika, thank you. Oh, that was terrible. From Galveston. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning in. Gloria Van Dyke. They should prescribe
AJ, what up,
as
dude?
all pure natural medicine, marijuana, not pills.
Hold on, we gotta clean. We
So
gotta
sure.
Gloria.
We were gonna do. I gotta say this. We were gonna.
I
do,
know we can count on you.
we were gonna do a legalized marijuana recreationally show, but we all agreed too. So we can't just
That
sit here
was
and
one of
agree
the
on
top-
it.
We're all in agreement, so we can do that
That's
one.
too
No
funny.
one, we wouldn't have a discussion.
Nick Zaloy, thank you for tuning in. Joseph Ferrazza, Forenza. Forenza, Debbie, thank you for tuning in. And Catherine, I appreciate you tuning in. What time are we at? We got music yet, huh?
Oh, yeah, John, you were gonna bring
Yeah,
us
we're
on,
at
weren't you?
45. Yeah, let's play some music. And while they're gonna
Is
get
it
ready,
about that
let's
time?
talk about your art.
Oh,
Virgil.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
this
Virgil.
is short notice. I didn't have much to bring with me at the time, but I do skylines. And some of my artwork is downtown Houston. I call myself Houston's photo ambassador. I do abstract skylines, and usually there's some kind of architectural something behind all of it. I do. Oh God, I'm a little nervous here.
Don't be nervous.
I do
Have
custom.
another
I do
glass of wine.
commissions. Custom to commissions. You can reach me at just Google Virgil for you. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. My name is Virgil
If
C.
you can't find them, get in contact with me.
Yeah, my name is Virgil C. Robinson. Just Google me.
It'll
you'll
actually
find
be in
me.
the comments too, and on the post that we do post later. So
Thank you, sir. Yes.
And if you want to help reach them, you can also reach out to Text Music and Art. We'll get you connected.
do that. You ready, John?
Yeah.
Let's hear a jam. Is it gonna be original?
This is going to be an original song. Yeah. I'm over
Do you have it on an album we can buy?
no, nothing yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet. Still working on the first album here.
Wonderful.
AJ, fill up your glass, dude. It's worth a
But
while.
let me get a little comfortable here.
Yeah, do your thing, buddy. You still in frame over there?
Yeah, I'm getting him in frame right now.
Alright, great.
Okay. Yeah, this is an original song. Do with the Texas Contraband.
Is it online at all?
There is a YouTube link on my page. This was actually something we performed at a redneck country club. They had a band competition.
Oh,
So
fun.
this is one of the things.
Is redneck politically correct?
That's the name.
That's the name of the
Oh,
book.
okay. My bad. Just curious.
It's a little something
Yes.
a little country kind of ditty. Something I put together called "Leave the Lights On." Leave the candle burning. You can let down your hair. Move a little closer, darling. I've no room to share. We could sit and just talk a while. I need to see your face when you smile. Not still young, baby. Leave the lights on. Feel your body swaying as we move in perfect time. I could live forever with your heartbeat next to mine. Watch your shadows as we drift by the fire, where I can see the flame in your eyes. Love ain't wrong, baby, leave the lights on. I need you tonight, now and forever. It feels so right with you here in my arms. That look in your eyes, the love that surrounds me. Don't let this moment get lost in the dark. 'Cause love ain't wrong, so baby, leave the lights on. Watch your shadows as we drift by the fire, where I can see the flame in your eyes. Love ain't wrong, baby, leave the lights on. I need you tonight, now and forever. It feels so right with you here in my arms. That look in your eyes, the love that surrounds me. Don't let this moment get lost in the dark. 'Cause love ain't wrong, so baby, leave the lights on. Love ain't wrong, so baby, leave the lights on. You know love ain't wrong, so baby, leave the lights on. You know love ain't wrong, so baby, leave the lights on.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, while you guys get ready, you mind if I talk about my piece up here? All right, guys. So, you guys know me, Chris Minnemeyer, part of Text Music and Art, and I also am an artist myself. You can find me at CM Art on Instagram. That's my page, or Chris Minnemeyer. You'll see me on every group in Houston. So if you don't know, you're not in any groups, then I don't care. I'm sorry. But this is one piece, a part of a collection of 4. Actually, I do pieces on commission. So the way this works is, this is Game of Thrones. I'm sure if you're aware of the show. So the Stag family, and then I have one that's the dragon, and then the lion, and then the wolf. So it's all the same type of done, and then it's all in a row, and pretty cool looking all together. But so I do that type of work to show people that I want to do your commission work. So whatever you love, whatever symbols or abstract designs, or I make whatever you like. I make it beautiful on canvas for you to talk about when people come over to your home.
Awesome.
That's my spiel. I'm getting pretty good at that spiel. But yeah, you can find me again, Chris Minnemeyer at Text Music and Art. Take it away, bro. You gonna play original?
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, Chris is gonna play with me.
Alright.
This song, a little bit of a segue to the song. This song is called. Well, actually, I'm just gonna tell you what it's called. You can think about it for whatever it is that you wanna decide on it. But this song is called "I Don't Love You." You wanna?
I'm ready. I'm ready when you are.
Take a look at your wrist and look at your heart. Is it time that we made a new start on the rest of our lives, right where we are?